Marvel just hid something massive in the Avengers Doomsday teaser, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because this isn't just another Avengers movie. This is Marvel quietly preparing to end an entire era. And I don't mean a soft reboot. I mean someone isn't making it out alive. At first glance, the teaser looks pretty simple. Familiar faces, familiar symbols. But buried inside it are clues that suggest the Avengers as we know them are done, and that their replacements aren't who you think.
Meet the new Avengers.
By the end of this video, you'll see why the new Avengers might not be the Thunderbolts, why Captain America's return isn't what Marvel wants you to believe, and how one character could destroy an entire universe before the movie even begins. Because Avengers Doomsday isn't just a build-up to a finale, it's the moment Marvel quietly resets everything. And it all starts with the children they've been hiding in plain sight. It's right there on the poster. The Thunderbolts have been said to be the new Avengers, replacing Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, etc., etc. However, based on the Doomsday trailer, I think the Thunderbolts might just be getting sidelined in the near future. The Thunderbolts movie was actually received quite well by audiences earlier this year, currently holding an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. The cast is stacked, and while some of Marvel's newer projects haven't had quite the same feel as the older ones, many fans stated that Thunderbolts finally brought back that OG MCU vibe. But like I said, I think the new Doomsday trailer has confirmed that the Thunderbolts aren't actually going to replace the original Avengers. The children will. Let's take a look at Marvel's most recent projects. Thor: Love and Thunder, The Fantastic Four, WandaVision, Ms. Marvel, and even Hawkeye. What do these projects all have in common? They set up the next generation of Avengers, the Young Avengers. If we want to go really far back, even Morgan Stark in Avengers Endgame could very well be a part of this team as well. And what did the Doomsday teaser highlight? Captain America's baby. To me, it seems like the head execs at Marvel are planning something big with the children/mentees of the original Avengers and Fantastic Four teams. Be honest, were you happily surprised by Chris Evans' return as Captain America? Well, buckle in, because I'm not sure you're gonna like this next prediction. When I learned that Evans' Captain America was returning, I was surprised. I'm as big a Chris Evans fan as the next guy, but why would Marvel spend all that time setting up Anthony Mackie's Captain America just to have him replaced in Doomsday by the original one? No one is saying there can't be two Captain Americas, but I think bringing back Chris Evans full-time is really gonna put a damper on Anthony Mackie's spotlight. Unless, of course, that Chris Evans won't actually be returning as Captain America full-time. What if this whole cameo is nothing more than that? A cameo, and a setup to something much, much bigger. Doctor Doom. Remember in the teaser trailer how we see someone walking up to Captain America's house? We assume, of course, that it's Steve Rogers getting off his motorcycle, inspecting his old suit, and holding his baby. Well, what if I told you the faceless person we see isn't Captain America at all? We technically don't see Chris Evans' face until the very end, meaning could someone else be in the house with him, and who could that be? I'm thinking Doctor Doom, and I'm thinking this whole teaser is something so much more than just a Steve Rogers will return marketing strategy. It's setting things up to show just how much of a big bad Doctor Doom actually is. Remember, Doctor Doom can time travel. Who's to say that he doesn't go back in time to kill Steve Rogers before he can return the Infinity Stones to their original timeline? Or is it possible Steve Rogers accomplishes something in his youth that we didn't know about? Something that would hinder Doctor Doom's plan? On the other hand, could Doctor Doom have an ulterior motive, aside from simply killing Captain America? Like taking his child? No matter the case, I truly believe there is more to this teaser than meets the eye. Within all the multiversal timelines in the MCU, there are three main universes: the main MCU timeline, the X-Men universe, and the Fantastic Four universe. In Avengers Doomsday, one of these will be inevitably destroyed for good. Given Doctor Doom's time-traveling multiversal powers, much like Kang the Conqueror, we already know that he is going to attempt to take over and/or destroy the sacred timeline. We will without a doubt see the entanglement of these timelines, bringing the three main universes together for one incredible battle with Doctor Doom. But someone's universe isn't going to make it. I can't say for sure which one yet, but given the stakes of this movie, it will most likely come down to sacrificing one of the main universes for the sake of the other two. Whose universe do you think is most likely to be sacrificed for the greater good? A while back, I talked about some plot predictions for Season 3 of the Loki series, which I believe would take place right after Avengers Doomsday. Loki Season 3 will pick up right where Avengers Doomsday leaves off. There are so many theories surrounding the plot of Avengers Doomsday, but there are two things I'm willing to believe are for certain. The multiverse will play a central role in the story, and as a result, Loki will as well. Following Loki Season 2, Loki is now considered the epicenter of the multiverse. It only makes sense that his character takes on a whole new role in future films. In Avengers Doomsday, with the assumed storyline of the multiverse collapsing in on itself thanks to Doctor Doom, Loki will serve as a deus ex machina, appearing near the end of the film at the last minute to save the day, in a very similar vein to that of Falcon and the rest of the MCU heroes in Avengers Endgame.
On your left.
But where does this leave Loki Season 3? Loki may sacrifice himself in order to stop Doctor Doom from destroying the multiverse, or he might just take his multiversal powers to the next level yet again. While it is possible that Loki's story will conclude in Avengers Doomsday, I speculate that Loki will actually replace the Beyonders after Doctor Doom seeks to destroy them and their mission of protecting the multiverse from total destruction. This prediction is actually a 2-for-1. With Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom, the MCU is in need of a new face. Now, there are a few potential candidates for this role. Reed Richards, Yelena, Anthony Mackie's Captain America, or maybe even Doctor Strange. But I think the choice is pretty clear. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has arguably had the most compelling films in the last few years in the MCU, and his fresh start in No Way Home, I believe, has officially solidified his place as the new face of the MCU. Not only is Spider-Man a global icon, he's a product of Tony Stark, quite literally mentored by a Marvel legend, and a former member of the Big Three. What does this mean for Spider-Man? Well, I think his role in Doomsday is going to be massive. Tony Stark has always played the key role in Avengers movies. 2012 Avengers, he sacrificed himself to stop Loki and his army. And of course, we all know what happened in Avengers Endgame. With Iron Man gone, this role will now fall to Spider-Man. But with great power comes great responsibility. I told you this prediction was going to be a twofer, and that's because in the closing credits of Avengers Doomsday, I think we are finally going to witness Peter Parker getting the symbiote suit, just in time for Secret Wars. Okay, for those MCU fans who aren't familiar with the comics, this prediction is going to take a little bit of explanation, but trust me, it's worth it. Doctor Strange is going to bring us from Doomsday to Secret Wars, meaning we aren't going to get a satisfying conclusion in this movie necessarily. In fact, it's probably just the opposite. We're going to get a repeat of the Infinity War cliffhanger. Secret Wars is a 12-issue crossover limited series published from May 1984 to April 1985. Essentially, it's a culmination of both Hickman's Avengers and the New Avengers series. In this series, we learn that Earth is the focal point of the incursion of the multiverse. These incursions happen one by one, and the only way to stop the incursion of one Earth is to sacrifice another. Remember how I said one of the main universes to be destroyed? That is why. Our heroes obviously try to find a way to stop these incursions with as few deaths as possible. But Doctor Doom has his own plan, destroying as many Earths as possible to get to the root of the problem. Our heroes eventually learn that their planet, Earth 616, faces one final incursion from Earth 1610. After realizing that his plans have failed, Doctor Doom makes one final effort to stop the incursions. He unites the fragmented pieces of reality into one conglomerate known as Battleworld, made up of different pieces of space and time. The end of Avengers Doomsday will heavily resemble this plotline with one major change. Doctor Strange will be the one to create Battleworld. For those of us that keep up with the constant battle between the MCU and the DCU, we've been seeing a lot of erasure happening in both universes. First with the DCU and James Gunn's indecisiveness about the canonness of Peacemaker Season 1, and now with the rumors of the MCU being completely erased after Avengers Doomsday/Secret Wars. The reason for all this erasure talk, I honestly think the head execs over at Marvel have heard audiences' complaints. There's too much content to consume for new-gen Marvel fans. I mean, in order to fully understand Secret Wars, new MCU fans will quite literally have to rewatch every single Marvel project, all the way back to Captain America: The First Avenger. Sure, there are a few films that could be skipped over, but there's not many. Now, with the inclusion of the X-Men and Fantastic Four, does that mean new gens will also have to watch all of those movies? I once heard someone say that in order to fully appreciate Deadpool vs. Wolverine, we would need to watch The Proposal too, and honestly, that's not too far-fetched, you guys. Doomsday and Secret Wars won't necessarily completely wipe the MCU up to this point, but it will accomplish one thing. It will allow new-gen viewers to join the fandom much easier. They won't have to go back and watch 15 years worth of movies just to understand the newest one. Secret Wars will mark the beginning of a fresh start for the MCU. New heroes, new stories. I mean, even Spider-Man had his entire life erased. Not forgotten, but given a clean slate. What did you think of these Avengers Doomsday theories? Does Doctor Doom pose an even bigger threat than Thanos, given his reach expands past the main MCU timeline? Will we get to see the Big Three return with their original actors, or is it time for the Young Avengers to take center stage? Who will lead us into Secret Wars, Doctor Doom or Doctor Strange? And finally, who are you most excited to see in Avengers Doomsday? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more theories just like these. Thanks again for watching ScreenRant, and I'll see you in the next one.